So, dearest ones, let's do meditation. And I think I can't help but do the blessing the speech again, okay? I like blessing the speech. So Matt can put it up for us. Not yet, just not quite. Have it ready, Matt. Okay, so we start with just our little motivation, thinking we're going to do this little 30 minutes together, contemplating the meaning of these things and the and then visualizing and reciting these Sanskrit sounds. You know, it might be esoteric to us in the beginning, but to think that sort of certain sounds are more powerful. This is how they talk about all the Sanskrit syllables, you know. I mean, the Tibetans have translated everything, all the texts, everything. They never translate. I mean, you can translate, but then they always continue to say the Sanskrit, you know. They say there's something very powerful about Sanskrit syllables, the Sanskrit words. So just remembering, so we're thinking we're going to do this little practice to bless our speech, to make our speech more powerful. And let's just think, you know, so and then we think, why do we need powerful speech? Think about it. Why do we need that? Well, I mean, they talk about the power of speech. I mean, given that, you know, the Buddha, for example, doesn't need a body. Bodhisattvas don't need bodies, but they manifest in bodies and they use speech, and speech is the main thing. We can look at Buddha for 1,000,000 years and nothing will happen. But unless we hear the speech coming from his mouth, which is the advice to us so we can become our own Buddha. That's the big picture. But in daily life, we badly need good speech. We need to be effective. We need to get things done. We want people to believe our words, take them seriously. I mean, it's huge. We don't think of it like that in our culture. So one way to get the power of speech is to be silent, kind of preserve, you know, so not just rabbiting on about nothing. Secondly is to refrain from negative speech. This is so powerful. It's like entry-level junior school grade 1 practice, you know. And then to do things like mantra, this makes it even more powerful. And of course, to say positive words, you know, it's very powerful, so marvelous, so necessary. So good to be conscious of it. So just check our bodies, just get the body in a position that's suitable for 30 minutes. The body doesn't meditate, but it needs to be in a conducive position, you know. So if you're sitting cross-legged, be comfortable with it. If not, in a chair, so don't slump into the back of the chair. Hold your body up straight. So you can hold, so don't slump, and have your feet firmly on the ground. Your hands can be in the meditation gesture or mudra like this, if you like, or as you wish, on your knees. Your shoulders kind of square, not slumped. They don't mention it, but relax your muscles. Have your body upright, but relax your muscles. Don't have tension, but it should be upright. Then your head slightly tilted forward, chin tucked in, tip of the tongue resting lightly behind the top teeth, lips apart. This stops you from dribbling, from having to swallow your spit all the time. And your eyes looking down underneath your eyelids as if you're looking along your nose towards the ground. Kind of settle into this position, okay? And then forget about it. So we can imagine Buddha above our crowns, Shakyamuni Buddha. So now we could have the practice up. We could I'll recite, I will say the words and you try to imagine, you try to visualize. And the only time you just open your eyes and look is when you say the syllables, unless you've memorized them. And first of all, for this little refuge prayer as well. Konshog sumla kyabsu chi, drola penche sange drub sange shog, konshog sumla kyabsu chi, drola penche sange shog. I take refuge in the 3 jewels. May I become a Buddha to benefit all. So now, visualize on your tongue the white syllable, this ah, which turns into AH if you don't know Sanskrit or Tibetan, the Roman letters, and then it turns into a moon disc. Just imagine on your tongue like a flat cushion. And then on the top of that, there's a white Om, standing upright. And then you imagine it's surrounded by all the white vowels. Of course, we haven't learned the Sanskrit and the Tibetan, so we can't see them, but just have to imagine, okay? Surrounding clockwise the white vowels. Then surrounding them, counterclockwise, the red consonants. And surrounding them, the blue, as Lama Zopa calls, the blue dependent related heart mantra, or the mantra of dependent arising. All those words surrounding the red ones, which surround the white ones. Clockwise, and then counterclockwise, and then clockwise. All on your tongue. All standing upright, these syllables, imagine. White Om, then the white vowels, red consonants, white, blue dependent related heart mantra. So now you imagine light radiates out from all of these, and I think it's good to radiate all the colors, the white, the red, and the blue, going out to all, they always talk about all the 10 directions, north, south, east, west, northeast, northwest, southeast, southwest, and up and down, the 10 directions. These light beams go out from all these letters, hooking the energy of the blessings of the powerful speech of all the Buddhas, all the Bodhisattvas, all the great yogis, all those practicing, hooking that energy, imagining that, hooking that energy from all the 10 directions of all the holy beings all over the universe, all the Buddhas in their pure lands, all the Bodhisattvas, all the yogis, hooking this energy, and it all comes back and absorbs into these mantras on your tongue, making them amazing and powerful and radiant, containing the energy of all these holy beings. Just to kind of imagine this, As Rinpoche says, this includes, the power beyond samsara, indeed, as I said, the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, all those living in the pure practice, and even all the power of speech of ordinary beings, who, as a result of having abided in silence and having lived in the morality of abstaining from negative karma of speech, whose words are powerful. Whatever they say brings success. Whatever they say is beneficial. They say even the breath of a bodhisattva is beneficial to sentient beings. So all these syllables on your tongue, full of this power. And now we recite first the vowels. So you can open your eyes now, unless you remember. Here they are at the bottom. And we just say these. And as we recite them, these white nectar pours down and up everywhere, pervading our body, filling us from these syllables, completely filling us. And we imagine it purifies, first of all the sickness in our bodies and all the karmic imprints of all the harm we've ever done since beginningless time with our bodies to sentient beings, totally purifying all of this, eradicating all those negative karmic seeds, but also purifying the body, making it, purifying the pain, the kind of the heaviness of our bodies, totally purifying. Really be happy to visualize this as we recite. Om, a, e, u, ri, li, e, o, ang, svaha. Om, a, e, u, ri, li, e, o, ang, svaha. Om, a, e, u, ri, li, e, o, ang, svaha. Full of this marvelous white, powerful nectar, the blessings of all the holy beings, totally purified of our negative karma of the body and all our sickness, full of this blissful nectar. So now, as we recite the consonants. Red nectar pours up and down, fills our body from the letters, completely filling us, totally purifying all the karmic consequences of our past negative speech, such as people not believing our words from past lying, people not valuing our words from just past rabbiting on about nothing, past gossip, people thinking we're being harsh when in fact we're not, all the disharmony that comes as a result of bad-mouthing people behind backs, all of these karmic results, as well as all the environmental results, all of this, as well as the karmic tendencies from the actions in the past of having done these ways of harming others with our speech, totally purified, eradicated by this delicious red nectar filling us, totally filling us, purifying. How amazing. Om ka 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 ganga cha 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 janya ta 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 dana ta 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 dana pa pa ba ba ma yada lava shasha sahaksa swaha. Om ka 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 ganga cha 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 janya ta 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 dana ta 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 dana pa pa ba ba ma yada lava shasha sahaksa swaha. Om ka 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 ganga cha 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 janya ta 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 dana ta 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 dana pa pa ba ba ma yada lava shasha sahaksa swaha. Totally full of this blissful, blessed, powerful red nectar, filling every atom of our body, purifying all of the speech and all the karmic consequences. So happy, full of this blissful nectar. So now, as we recite the dependent related heart mantra, so of course, being the mantra of dependent arising, it's related to emptiness, enabling us to realize the ultimate nature of how things exist, which is the main fault in the mind, that we don't realize that, which is the source of our suffering and the source of why we harm others. So these syllables of this blue, filling us completely, nectar pouring up and down, filling us completely, totally purifying, of course, our mind. And which part of our mind? The delusions. And what are they? The three poisons, for example, the root delusion, the primordially held misconception, deep in the bones of our being, the belief in the intrinsic, real, independent, separate, pointable, findable, concrete me, utterly independent of everything else. That delusion, the root one, we imagine it is annihilated. Then what that gives rise to is this primordial emotional hunger, this dissatisfaction, the attachment to get what that fantasy I wants. Effectively, according to the Four Noble Truths, that's the main source of suffering in daily life, attachment. And then that purifies the aversion, which is the response when attachment doesn't get what it wants, which is 1,000 times a day. Or the variations of aversion, anger, irritation, upset, annoyed, frustrated, depression. All of these are aspects of aversion, the response when attachment doesn't get what it wants. And then all the other delusions that branch out from these, the arrogance, the jealousy, all of these painful states of mind that Buddha has found are not intrinsic, do not define us, are not at the core of our being. We imagine they're eradicated, purified by this blissful blue nectar as we recite this mantra. Om ye dhamma hetu prabhava hetun teshan tatagato yavadat teshan chayo niroda evam vadi mahashamanaye svaha. Om ye dhamma hetu prabhava hetun teshan tatagato yavadat teshan chayo niroda evam vadi mahashamanaye svaha. Om ye dhamma hetu prabhava hetun teshan tatagato yavadat teshan chayo niroda evam vadi mahashamana yesvaha. totally purified, all the delusions, and therefore, this is the thing, therefore, all the anxiety and fear and kind of constrictedness and the fear that is existing in our minds all the time to one degree or another, all of which comes from these delusions. As Lama Zopa says, when we have realized emptiness and cut all the delusions, there is no fear. The mind is radiant, clear, light, blissful. These are not jokes, this is serious. And as well as love and compassion and all the virtues, because they are at the core of our being. They are what define us. This is Buddha's specific, unique point. So I'd be amazed and delighted that your mind is full of all this marvelous virtues, your true nature, because they're indestructible. You can't remove them from the mind. They're the nature of the mind. Full of this radiant blue nectar. Totally purified, all the nonsense, all the delusions, gone. Imagine how amazing. So now imagine the blue dependent related heart mantras of the syllables on our tongue dissolve into the red consonants. The red consonants dissolve into the white vowels. And the white vowels dissolve into the white Om. And that dissolves into the moon disk. The moon disk turns into an R. And now imagine that R turns into pink-colored nectar and dissolves into your tongue. And you imagine your tongue becomes, as Rinpoche says, indestructible, like Vajra nature. Nothing can harm or take away or destroy the power of your speech. And have very strong confidence that now all the power and the blessings of the speech of all the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, the yogis, anybody practicing virtue, has entered, all of this has entered your speech, and that your speech is perfected. Think, I have perfected my speech. So think what this means. You know, this is something we don't talk like this in our culture. It's fascinating. When we think about it, it's so powerful. Because we need, just to get things done, just to achieve our own needs, we need proper speech. Even when you walk into a shop and someone doesn't like your speech, they don't like your words, they won't take care of you. Speech is incredibly important. It's our way of communicating. And then when you really want to be beneficial in the world, absolutely, you need the power of speech. You need people to honor your speech, to respect your speech, to believe it, to want to listen to you, and then for you to fulfill all your wishes if you're trying to make the world a better place, or to benefit people. When our speech is powerful, even just saying good morning can benefit the person who hears it. We know this, actually. One kind word can be of so much benefit to one suffering person. So don't underestimate speech, you know. And then consciously refraining from lying, saying words that aren't true, harshly speaking, abusing people, just rabbiting on about useless stuff. And then the one of bad-mouthing people behind backs. We refrain consciously every day from this. This makes our speech powerful. Then actively saying mantra and purifying. This is incredible. This is the way to benefit sentient beings. So feel that your tongue, your tongue. I mean, it sounds almost so silly, almost blessing your tongue. It sounds hilarious, but it's logical when you think about it. This tongue, without tongue, we can't do anything, can't say a word. It's powerful. So I think it's totally now full of this power. The speech, the thinking this way, the power of your speech becomes marvelous. And whatever you say, whatever you recite, all your words, your mantras become much more powerful, and they become millions of times more powerful, Rinpoche says. Be delighted. So now we have more time, so let's just meditate. Maybe let's now just observe our minds, okay? Mahamudra. So we simply pay attention. Don't try to fuss about it. Don't think about it. Don't worry about it. Just simply turn your attention now, single-pointedly, to the mind. And what that means is whatever is there at this moment, whatever thoughts are there, pay attention just to that. No comment, no analysis, no conversation. And so the key to it is this: when thoughts are in our mind, either we're so busy washing the dishes or doing other things, we just don't notice, but they're still chatting away. Or when the thoughts start to come, and they're distressing thoughts like angry or attachment or jealous, then we have these massive conversations in our head, don't we? So that's what we have to stop doing now. This is the practice. Let the thoughts come. Let them come. Don't try to stop them. That's silly. You allow the thoughts, a stream of consciousness. But the wisdom is that the skill is to step back and to consciously attempt to not converse with them, to not get involved in them. So simply watch the thoughts. No comment, no analysis, just watch. That's the practice. When you space out, just bring your attention back. Just watch the thoughts. Just pay attention. Keep the attention sharp and clear. Don't sink into the thoughts. Just stay apart and watch. Let them come and go. So now, just imagine that the Buddha above our crowns happily dissolves into light and absorbs through our crown, comes in our crown and comes into us. And we imagine all the energy of the body, speech, and mind of the Buddha completely filling us. And it merges with our own energy of body, speech, and mind. Try and imagine this. And then kind of just sort of feel like you expand to fill the universe. Because consciousness is not physical, you know. So imagine you expand to fill the universe. Just try and imagine. Vast, feel very clear, kind of like you discovered your true nature. Vast, clear, spacious, loving, compassionate, and no thoughts, just no thoughts. Be as vast as the universe. No thoughts. So now we relax and we finish with our little cute little dedication prayer. I just love this little prayer. It's so unlikely. So just open your eyes and here's the little prayer. Just go up a little bit, Matt. That's it. May my tongue have all the courage of the ones gone to bliss, by the power manifesting from these glorified words. May all sentient beings be subdued, and whatever words I say, may all these actions be accomplished instantly. Be so delighted with that, okay? And then make the decision. That's it. Take it off now, Matt, thanks. So then and we can now make the decision, however much of the day you've got left, make a strong decision. You're going to watch your speech like a hawk. Even one day of watching your speech, I swear to you, one day of consciously, watching the speech is miraculous. It gives us great courage. It makes us very conscious. And the other thing is this too, we mightn't lie consciously, but we all speculate. I mean, this is something very interesting. We're all wanting to say the right answer. We're all eager to, endlessly chat about things. We read 4 billion things every day on the internet. So we're always giving opinions and chatting away, and we have no certainty that we're correct. And so that's not technically lying because you don't mean to, but we are speculating. And so it's always confusing sentient beings, So I think to consciously make a decision too, if you don't know the answer properly, even I always use the example, what time does that shop close, Robina? Instead of just, we're 4 o'clock, and then you're actually wrong, don't say anything. Say, I don't know. It's very powerful practice. It's a powerful practice of giving up attachment to being right. It's a powerful practice to give up arrogance. It's very beneficial. So it's really great. So try and do that the rest of the day. And don't lie or speculate. Consciously don't rabbit on about nothing. Consciously don't use harsh language, abuse people, and consciously don't say bad things about people when they're not there. That includes all the politicians, your family, the neighbors, the world. This is a very powerful practice. It's surprising to us if we don't think about it, but it's amazing. Then whatever you do say will benefit who hears it. This is incredible. That's it, darlings. Goodbye. Thank you, Matt. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Venerable.